It came up, Greg.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think we're good to go. Thank you for confirming that. All right. And thank you for bearing with me on my technology skills or lack of. All right. So this is, that's not it. This is the October 5th Proboard meeting. Looks like in attendance currently are me, Greg Sachs, Donna D, Heather, Jennifer, and Kyle. There will be no public comments since there is no public on the call. So I will skip to the approval of minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the September 7th Proboard meeting minutes. I have a second by, was that Heather?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, any opposed, say nay. All right, minutes approved. Looks like what, 4-0. All right, so old business. I'll start with the biggest project that we got going currently, which is our big tree planting. Just to recap, we're doing tree planting of 550 trees at Goodwin, or not Goodwin, Crossan Park and Franklin Preserve. We did have numerous volunteer days, and we did our best to work around this crazy hurricane weather. So we were able to get the entire triangle area planted in Franklin Preserve. There was roughly 225 trees, I believe, that were done over there. So we got that completed over numerous days. We had a great group of volunteers, about 25 volunteers total. Some from Delmarva, some, community members, all sorts of people that I think 3 or 4 different states people came from to volunteer in planting the trees. So it's total so far, including the new ones that we've started over at the Crossan Park area near the parking lot. We're at roughly 285 trees that are planted in the ground, which leaves a good amount of trees left. So we were going to have another volunteer day yesterday that got canceled again due to the rain. Looks like last I checked, the weather is finally clearing up. Actually saw some sunlight today, which was awesome. And yeah, we're going to shoot for having a volunteer day this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. I've been putting the word out as much as I could on social media and just to pretty much anyone who I can think of who would be willing to help with the installation. I ask that, all you guys as much as you can also help spread the word. If you can make it, that's great. Even better. But we need volunteers. It's a couple people can only make it so far with, 200 and whatever odd trees. I actually plan on trying to get out there tomorrow morning, as long as I can get all my stuff done work-wise, but I didn't put it out there just because it's kind of last minute. If anyone's around, they're welcome to join me. Just try to get out there and, just keep chipping away at it.
So Craig, I see Melissa's on the meeting. Are they updating the Franklin Township website so that people know there's another day?
Jeff has been, when I asked him to update it, I haven't checked the
Okay.
newest, but I believe he has updated it. Yeah.
So Melissa, I see you're here. Just make sure that it's up there for Saturday, that the tree planting, or, it's our rain date. Gonna come and plant the rest of the trees, okay?
Yeah, just any way we can get the word out is great, because, hopefully if we get a good show turnout on Saturday, we could hopefully get it all done and complete at that stage, or at least get all the trees and the tubes, everything in the ground.
The website is updated.
Great.
It is. Okay, good. Yeah, I've been watering the trees. I was just out there before this watering the trees. I haven't gotten out. I know it's been raining, but they're tucked under the shed to protect them from getting baked, even though there was no sunlight. But every other day I've been coming up and trying to keep them watered as much as I can. So yeah, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. parking lot down by the soccer field. And hopefully we get a good turnout. Does anyone else have any input? Does anyone know of people that'll be coming, or?
I just have 2 neighbors coming, but the other 3 said they can't make it.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's homecoming day at the high school, Greg, and there's some sort of all-day event, like booths with a market or something at the high school. So a lot of families are going to be there.
Okay. Yeah, I did have a guy mention homecoming to me. All right. Well, if we'll do the best we can. Like I said, I'm going to get out there tomorrow morning. Anyone's welcome to join me. If we don't get them all in Saturday, we'll just keep going as much as we can. And I'll just keep, trying to spread the word and get other people involved.
So how can we coordinate getting the key from you to get the tubes out?
So are you home tomorrow? I could either drop it off or.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
wait,
yeah.
I'm not home. I'm not home tomorrow. I forgot. I have to go into the office, but you could drop it off at my house. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Just, you can text me or just tell me here where you want me to put it. But yeah, I can drop it off. That's not a problem. Is there anything else that you would need from me?
The
I'm not going to
shovels.
be around here Saturday, just so you guys know.
So the shovels are in the comfort station, the tubes and the stakes, right? And then the trees are at the township. I think that's all I need.
Yes. There is one bundle of stakes here next to the trees, I noticed, of the new stakes. But other than that, I believe everything else should be over in the comfort station. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully we'll get it done between now and the end of the weekend.
Greg, can you just remind me, because I haven't been there before, where do we go? We go, it's Crossing Park, right? Go to the just park at the pavilion and walk our way down, or?
No, yeah, you're gonna, so the soccer field, like where you parked for the movie night.
Right.
So you go down the main drag and then take that one right,
Okay.
where you kind of wind back in there by the soccer field.
Okay.
And once you park there, it's immediately next to the parking lot.
So I'll see everybody. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see the flags, and you'll see we already have, I don't know, about 60 trees in the ground there. So you'll see all the tubes and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want mallets and I know you said gloves and shovels. Okay.
Yes. Gloves, shovel, and metal mallet if you have it. That's the ideal mallet to use. Yeah, that's pretty much, everything you would need. Something, drinking water for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring in the sun, so it's going to be sunny.
Yeah, bring good weather. Thank you. All right. So moving on. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to take a look at Mary's map. We kind of started reviewing it in the past, and I don't really recall what stopped us from approving it. I can pull it up right now, hopefully. Let's see here, and then we can kind of go through it and hopefully get a approval on it. I think it logged me out of my email. Yeah, so does anyone else have it handy that they could possibly pull it up? Because that logged
Yeah,
me out.
I looked
Okay.
at it this afternoon, so I could probably find it.
Okay. And then I'll see if I can actually allow you to
Can you-
share.
Yeah, can you allow me to share?
Let's see. How do I do that? I don't know how to make you an
It says
admin.
like add hosts or something. Or,
Where would that be though? Let's see here. Advanced sharing options. Oh, here we go. All right, see if you can share now.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So this is what Mary did. She did really nice. One of the comments in the past was the lines were real thin, so she made them nice and dark. Let me go down to the parking lot. Nice dark lines, and there's 4 trails coming off the parking lot, and then a 5th trail off of Creek Road. She marked the parking locations. So the only comment was, I mean, we can post. This is actually posted there, Greg. My daughter did it. She posted it over on the hunting tag board, you know, by the entrance.
Nice.
I assume they haven't removed it, but it was posted maybe 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
My only comment back to Mary was that it's kind of disjointed where the trails join and meet. See how this is interrupted? And so my suggestion to her was the longest trail is the red trail. The second is the green. The third is the orange, and the blue is the smallest. So if you start on the outside with red, it can run uninterrupted all the way around. And then the next one in green, it can run uninterrupted all the way around. So if she just changes the order, it'll eliminate all of this disjointed connections. But I know she's been feeling pretty sick, so I don't think she redid that. But this is fine for now. You know, it's doable. And she added a real nice little legend over here saying the trail color with the legend in distance. So I think it's nice. And then the non-Banffshire property is kind of faded out.
Right. Yeah, I love that it actually shows the mileage. I think that's important. And again, I brought it up before. There was a comment when I just found it on the internet that somebody was unhappy with the.
Yeah, but you know what though? I saw that comment, but and they're right. The entrance is bad, and the there's no map, so they're absolutely right. But then their third comment was that it's difficult to access off of Hess Mill Road. And I'm like, maybe these people were at the wrong preserve because we're nowhere near Hess Mill Road.
That might have been a different review. But
so
maybe.
I just did Google And then here, review.
There you go.
Here, disappointing for many reasons. Online map is not good. So I thought our online map was okay, but neither is the map at the kiosk. That's absolutely true. So we hung a map there, the one that you saw. And this is the last part. Is there parking somewhere other than Hess Drive? Because the trail is not well maintained, poison ivy everywhere. So we don't have, Hess Mill Drive is like 5 miles away. And there's no poison ivy near the entrance. So I was a little bit confused by that.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
weird.
Anyway, I don't want to discount it. I mean, the rest of the comments were correct.
And it looked like when you just pulled it up, that All Trails website had some good overall reviews, which is
Where's
good.
that?
If you go
Here,
back,
this one?
yeah, so that one has. Wait, that's a picture of. Is that Bamshire? Oh, maybe that's from the top there.
This isn't Bamshire. Oh, this is Bamshire. That's looking over my property at my neighbor's house. Yeah. This
Okay.
is Bill Pearson's preserved farmland.
So yeah, look, 4 out of 56 reviews. It was 4.5, almost 4.5. So that's good. It's just good to look through that stuff, to get other people's perspective.
Yeah, I agree. So when we get a miniature dozer for whatever project, we need to go through, because there's a tree that fell in the preserve maybe 3 years ago, and it tore up the trail. So regrading it with the mini dozer is very important. Like, it's too much to do with the handwork, but that would really help the trails. And then we have a volunteer named Chris who does the majority of mowing on these trails. So he does a good job, but we should do more to help him out. And he rides his mower around it, but we need some upper cuts, cutting the high parts of the trail.
Right.
And then speaking of that, on the Keene Trail, after all this weather, there's a tree down right at the Auburn Road entrance. So if anybody has a chainsaw and is interested, I think Mary's husband and Jennifer's husbands are the ones that usually volunteer for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think, are they on the call tonight? I can't see.
Jennifer
Paul-
is.
Paul, I'm on the call. I'll definitely ask Eric if he could try to catch up with you maybe next week. I just, I hurt my back really bad, so he's been having to do all the driving.
Ah, okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I won't be able to do it this week before the planting, but then after the planting, maybe I can do it. But otherwise, if he could get to it, that'd be great. It's only an hour of work, but it's just a matter of getting
yeah,
out there.
I'll see if he can catch up with you next week or early next week.
Yeah, there's not much daylight after work these days, so our time is
Yeah.
short.
He might be able to do it on his lunch break.
Oh, wow. Yeah, great. All right. Well, that's it, Greg. Did you want to see anything else?
No. So, I mean, I guess, should we, with the map of Bamshire, just say go ahead and approve it, and then, see if we can do those edits that you mentioned?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
What does anybody know what's posted there now?
On the website?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think it's the old map still.
I don't know if we ever changed it, so I'm just going to assume I can go to Parks and Preserves here, Bamshire. Yeah, this is about the same. It
Mhm.
doesn't have the distances, though. It just has the legend, but no distances. So hers is an upgrade with the distances.
Right. Okay. Looks like it still has that disjointed connections.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this one where you can kind of see the woods a little, see the picture through. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit more visible. It's interesting. I hadn't noticed that.
Hmm.
How do I get rid of this? Yeah. Oh, I guess you can see it here. Oh, I see. Hers was a summer shot. Everything's green.
Oh,
And the
right.
old one's a
Yeah.
winter shot. That's the difference.
Hmm.
That's funny. Okay.
All right,
All
cool.
right. I'm going to stop sharing then.
Okay. That works. All right. So next up is our current vacancy on our pro board. Last we talked, we were going to check with a couple possible candidates. So I talked to, is it okay to mention their name or should I not mention their name? Well, moral of the story is both of the people that we were thinking are not interested in joining the board. They're both interested in working with us and continuing their volunteer or, helping out, bring volunteers on, which is great. But, they like to stay in that role and not actually commit to joining on the pro board. So at this point, I mean, I don't really know of any other prospects personally. I believe we definitely need to have it advertised on the website or, however we can advertise it. I don't believe they did that yet. Does anyone, I don't know, does anyone else have any other thoughts or of people who could possibly be good candidates to join?
I think you have to advertise it. Yeah. I was going to ask the guy that mows Bamshire if he wants to join. But other than that, I don't know of anybody.
Yeah. And it might be, I mean, we talked before about, whether everyone needs to be in Franklin Township. I don't, if we advertise, it might be, I mean, it's not our decision, obviously, but something to consider for the supervisors if we can't find anyone in the township to possibly expand the search a little bit.
Yeah. And so Donna, when we were planting the trees, we met a few people from London Britain that border the park, but they're just, they're in a different township that border our park, but they're out there planting and they really enjoy the trails that said it really opened up the park for them. And I think they're excited to get an access over there. So like if one of them wanted to volunteer, I would love to have somebody who lives near the park and is excited about it.
Yeah, and now that we have the ordinance, we know it doesn't say. It doesn't
Yeah,
say.
I think it's silent on it. But
No,
I mean,
I-
of course, if we have a township resident who's interested, then
They get
I
priority.
would give them
Yeah.
first priority. But if we don't, then rather than have a vacancy, I'd rather have someone excited about it.
Yeah, I agree. And I also agree that we should advertise. I know before you had candidates in mind because, and they were already brought, we already talked about them. So I thought that made sense. But now that there is no one that's been discussed before, I think it makes sense to open it up and see who responds.
Yeah. So
I was going to check the website. Isn't there a place where volunteers are listed already?
not that I know of on the website.
Yeah, there used to be on the old one. I don't know about the new one.
I don't think I've ever seen a section.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
a section called like volunteer opportunities and it listed all the vacancies on all the various.
Yeah, and that might be, but I would expect, and I can talk to Melissa and Jeff tomorrow, but to be something that's more in your face, right? That's maybe something right in the, when you clip onto the
Yeah, the news.
yeah, just to get right in someone's, and I know they also do the blast for, when the roads are being done, maybe it's something they blast out too. So I think we just have to get people's attention, right?
So
Yeah.
Melissa, do you know if there's any volunteer spot or that's not currently active? She's very quiet tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if she's there. Melissa, are you really there? She may have, got in there and just maybe she's out doing something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna call. I need to contact them tomorrow anyway, so I can bring this up.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, there's not much left, but So next is the Canada Thistle issue at Goodwin Preserve. So I sent you guys over the one quote. And since then I was able to get a second quote. So I know in the past, like, we wanted to be careful with going over numbers on a public call. Is it okay to
No,
mention?
I mean, if you didn't put out a bid, you just got two quotes, then I think it's fine as long as you don't plan to get more bids. Like if you still have more bidders coming, then you shouldn't mention numbers. But if that's all
Right.
you're going to get, then it's fine to mention the numbers.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I mean, I did have reach out to, there was a third company, but they weren't offering the service that we were looking for. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't have any other, quotes that I'm waiting on. So, all right. So the one company was Greenweaver Landscapes, and they quoted it at $310 per acre. And again, this is to spot treat the Canada Thistle over at Goodwin. So of course the question's, how much acreage is there? I did a very rough map of it right before the call, and it looks, if you're just looking at the fields, the side closest to the road and the parking lot is very roughly 3.9 acres.
4 acres.
Yeah, about 4 acres of meadow. This is not counting the tree planting areas or anywhere under trees, which, I didn't see any thistle in there. It needs a decent amount of sunlight. Then the other side was about 1.5 acres. I doubt that the actual companies who went out there, took a look at that side, because it's not easy to get access to. So I haven't been over there to actually inspect it to see how much thistle is growing there. So, but yeah, assuming, 4 and so about 5.5 acres roughly.
And what
Yeah,
was the rate per acre?
So their rate was $310 per acre. So what's that come to?
Like 1,700, I know it's bigger than 15, right? 1,500. So it's
Okay.
maybe 17. I can.
Yes. Something around there. Let me say. Times
310 times 4 is 1240.
1705.
Yeah, but you have 5.5 acres.
Yeah, 5.5.
Yeah,
times
1,705.
13.
That's exactly what I got. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 1705, assuming that, all areas need treatment.
And yeah, I think we'd have to verify that the other side needs it. But also, when do
Right.
they spray? Is it too late now, or do they wait in the spring, or how does that work?
I mean,
Yes.
ideally, we were going to do it
Now.
now. If they tell us they can't get out there for weeks or something, I don't know. I mean, we could check with them, see what they think, and also, kind of review the recommendation again. But the recommendation was, fall to late summer.
Yeah, I think we missed the window, but whatever they say.
It's definitely, I mean, I've walked out there and it's there. It's all the young plants that will be going to seed and flower next year are right there. But that was, I don't know, a week ago. So, we've had some cold weather. So is it starting to die off?
Yeah, like if we have a frost and it dies off, then we've lost our opportunity. But then also I'm
Right.
thinking everything that drops seeds, the seeds are in the soil and they'll sprout in the spring no matter what we spray. Like if we just spray the parents, the children are going to pop up in the spring. So it might be better wait till spring and just spray whatever comes up. But
Yeah,
I'd like
I mean,
their recommendation. I don't know.
Yeah, we could look into that. I mean, I think either way, it's an ongoing process. It's not going to
Right.
be like, a one time and done. I think it's, it's something that we looking more to manage versus eliminate.
Eradicate, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
Greg,
I
is it
think if-
something they'd have to do more than once? Because I was just gonna ask, like, we have it really bad in our neighborhood.
Mhm,
And with all the rain, there's no more like flowers really on it.
mhm.
So like to Paul's point, it must have like seeded and now all the seeds are in the ground, I'm sure. So is it something maybe that we have to do part of it this season and again in the spring?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like each plant, it drops seed. It's not a perennial, so it'll drop seed and then the new ones are coming up. So what you see now are the newer ones. That's not to say there's not plenty of seeds in the soil in addition to these plants.
Oh, okay,
Um,
so the ones in our neighborhood, like they were flowered last week, but with all the rain, they don't have flowers on them anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely past the flower and the seed. I mean, that was in the summer where you saw the seeds floating around in the air and
So then
spreading.
to Paul's point, like the parents aren't gonna come back now, like, so like, could they just be cut and then we just worry about treating it in the spring?
I mean, the recommendation is to do it in this late summer or fall. That's, DCNR and
Okay.
the state, that was their
Let's-
recommendation.
Well, let's
Okay.
do it, and then I imagine if we did it a couple years in a row, it would get less and less each year, and then
Right.
I don't think we'll have to
You
spend.
need to
as
make a
much money.
commitment to this. This is like you said, if you're gonna do it, let's get it started and then we just have to do it for a couple of years. I mean, I
Yeah.
had it my property, I just had to stay on top of it. No, I didn't have acres. But I
Right.
just got out there and pulled and sprayed and pulled and sprayed and it's gone, but it's a commitment. Stuff's
Yeah.
nasty. I hate
Okay.
this.
Yeah, it is nasty and there's, tons of other invasives there and,
So-
it's,
So Greg, what do they do? Do they walk around and spot spray by hand, or is it like a general broad tractor
it's-
spraying everything?
it's a backpack type sprayer.
Mhm.
At least that's what so the other quote was from Red Tail Restoration. They actually mentioned it would be they'd be using backpack sprayers,
much
and
was
walking
that one?
around. What's that?
How much was that one?
So that one was, he quoted it a little differently, $750. And he capped it at the amount of, spray or chemical he'd be using, which was a 5-gallon max. I don't know well enough how much that would actually take as far as gallons of
Right.
herbicide. So I can kind of press him a little more to get more detail on how much he thinks that would cover.
You would think it'd have to be a couple, right? I mean, you said
Yeah.
5 gallons, that's,
I think that would get pretty far. I mean, he also said he could do, if we wanted to not spend as much, he could do 2 gallons. And it'd be
No,
350.
we're gonna need at least
more.
5.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he said the 2 gallons would likely not cover the whole area. So I'm assuming he's thinking 5 gallons would cover the whole area.
Well, then it sounds like Red Tail's a better deal then, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now again, I don't know if he's taken in consideration the other side. I'm sure they just looked at that one field.
Yeah, but even if we double his price, it's cheaper.
Still
than that.
cheaper, yeah.
Right.
Well,
So, yeah.
I think I guess I didn't know if you were mentioning the other guy was your preferred or you're just mentioning them one at a time, but I would just verify with Red Tail that they believe 5 gallons will cover the one side, and then have them look at the second side. And if it's close, then, let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't have really a preference either way. We've had Red Tail do some work before. So I know they can handle invasive management.
Do you know what chemical they use?
No, I don't. He didn't actually mention which chemical. Let me see if I can pull up the email. But I don't believe he actually mentioned it.
Right. I wonder if they're just using like Roundup or something just to kill it, or if it's something specific to Thistle. I don't know.
I'd love to know. We have it so bad at the end of our street.
Oh, you want to know what it is?
I want to know what I need to do to get rid of it. We live
You're
right
gonna buy
next to
5 gallons?
We live right next to Dave Gerstenhaber, and I'm dying to ask him what he thinks we should do because Dave lives right next door to us, and it's terrible. But I have to tell you, I didn't know what it was until you guys brought it up on one meeting, and it was just new all of a sudden this year. What last year was that garlic mustard plant, and now
Mm.
this year it's the thistle.
Yeah, well, at least you can eat the garlic mustard. But so yeah, he said he didn't actually mention the type of chemical. He did say it could be done within a week or so of us agreeing to do it.
All right, what do we
s-
need? Do we need to vote on it? Or I guess we're not a official governing body, but I'll make a motion to award the red tail after you verify that their 5-gallon estimate was intended for the roadside
Mhm.
of the preserve.
So just to be clear, so if he says 5-gallon is just for that side, we're still okay with that? Because it's, only 1.5 acres on the other side.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'm thinking. Yeah, and then
Right.
ask him to
Okay.
add to his price to do the other side as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 gallons may be able to do the other side, and then you're way below
Right.
what the other guy was asking.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted. You want?
You just have to
Promise.
say I second.
I second that.
Okay. So everyone in favor of red tail doing the work? Say aye.
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 Anybody opposed?
All right.
Sorry, it was late. Aye.
So I think it's we officially now recommend it to the supervisors and
Yeah.
Yeah,
make it
and find
final.
out, Jeff might be able to do it on his own. I mean, just find out, he may be able to do that, or or he'll get us to, because you can't wait any longer. I mean, we got to get moving on this thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's true, Donna. That's true.
Yeah, if we wait 2 more weeks, yeah, exactly.
And then a week for them, you'll be into November.
Right,
Right.
so see if Jeff can do it on his own, and if he can't, then he can just send an email out to the board, and we could, we can, I don't know the rules, but I would think that maybe we could give him a verbal okay, and then we just approve it at the next public meeting. There must be a way
So,
to,
yeah, Donna, I think it's a low enough number, but I know it's very political spending money like that, but like
this
it's
has to
such
be
a small
maintenance.
amount to
Yeah.
do like if you have mice in the bathroom, Jeff doesn't need the board to go get an
Exactly.
approval for,
I'm with you, Paul. I think we just,
I think that's for him, just maintenance operations that he's
Yep.
responsible for.
that's
Paul,
how
I
I
have a
would look
question.
at it.
Like, is this so? Like, this is not out of our budget, right? This isn't out of the pro budget. It's
I
out of
don't
the
know.
maintenance fund.
That's up to Melissa and Jeff, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can
Okay.
figure that out later, but you need to do this. I mean, it
But
has-
it's like it seems like it's maintenance, so that's why I was wondering.
yeah, but the maintenance for the park comes out of your budget. So,
Okay.
yeah, but, well,
Yeah, it probably will. It probably will come out of the park budget.
but that shouldn't be the
Hey,
reason.
so is Thistle only a problem at Goodwin? Greg, is there any other?
I've noticed it somewhat at Franklin Preserve.
We have hemlock there, like we never addressed that.
Yeah. Well, we did.
Well, the farmer mowed it early.
Yeah, we
right?
mowed it, but we haven't done anything else as far as that goes.
Well, I say
So
we
yeah,
keep doing the mowing thing.
yeah,
Just let them mow it more often.
yeah. I mean, it seems to be contained to that one little meadow.
Well, for now,
Um,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm still really worried about the hemlock after what you guys told me how dangerous that is.
yeah, it is something to be concerned about.
Just
I've
don't eat
never
it.
had any. Yeah, don't eat it for sure. So yeah, I mean, I've seen some thistle, but not at the extreme that it is at Goodwin Preserve.
So can I bring up something while you're talking, Greg? I was looking at the township website and I said
Yeah.
the township website was updated. It does say postponed until October 8th.
The planting?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, good.
Is that the right date, by the way?
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
but-
that's something.
So I was all happy that it was updated, but while I'm looking at it though, I'll share my screen again, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So here here's the headline though. The headline is Crossing Park tree planting postponed due to weather. So if somebody sees that,
They're not gonna do anything. Yeah. that's
Right, it
fine.
no,
looks
they might
like-
think, yeah, they might think the one for this Saturday is postponed.
Right, it doesn't say.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think we should just restate this, because then when you open it, it says, yeah, we're not going to do it today, but we're going to do it on the 8th. So that's what I read. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I think we should change the title to say tree planting on Saturday, 10/8, just start over. Tree planting on
Right.
Saturday.
That's
Right, I
kind of
agree.
how I started over with the marketing of it.
Okay.
We've-
Yeah. Well, maybe we could recommend that to Melissa or Jeff.
Right.
So is that, Donna, can you do that one?
Got it. Yep.
All right.
Cool, thank
sorry,
you.
So I changed my mind. It needs to be updated more.
And I like the position. So we want to keep the position at the top and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
just get the date.
Yeah, because things like this, Auburn Road closed because trees in the wire, that's like 3 weeks old. They should drop that out of there. And
Mhm.
this is more. So Donna, one thing I did notice, if you check the township website on your phone, the news column is collapsed. So you don't see these headlines. And so it took me a long time to find out last week what time the planting started. And I was like, oh, you got to unhide the news column. So it's just kind of a formatting comment that most people check their websites on the phone. Not many people sit down on the computer anymore. And so on the phone, this section is invisible.
Okay, and then look at we have the third one too that has to go. Okay, so they need to get rid of this.
Yeah, get rid of that one too. Yeah.
Right. I'll talk to Melissa and Jeff tomorrow. We'll get. I can't promise you we'll fix the collapsed news thing. I'll bring it up to them, but I will.
Yes. No, that's yeah, great. And it's just not for this event. I'm just saying
It's
in
for everything.
general,
Yeah.
the things you're trying to highlight are not being highlighted on the phone.
Yeah, they're being hidden. Okay.
All right. All right. So moving on to new business. I actually don't have any other topics. So I know Donna, you had something you wanted to discuss. You want to bring that up?
Sure. So Paul, I'm glad you're here because it's the issue of the telephone call. So I know it's a lot of money, and I don't know how much telephone poles should cost. What would be a good price for them? But based on what Jeff is saying, he does not believe he can get it. There's any other source for it. So my question to you is, if you decide you don't want the telephone pole, do you have a backup plan for the bridge?
Now, yeah, so I understand, and it's disappointing we weren't able to get a better one. So last year, the telephone pole was $800.
Right.
And unfortunately, that company is no longer around. But I imagine they've increased in price. So maybe $1,000 or $1,100 or something like that. And 800 was delivered, by the way. So now it's at 2,800, and that's just hard to swallow. I think, so I told Jeff I would look around. I'm going to call a few places. Like one of Jeff's quotes was from Texas. I'm like, I wouldn't bother looking in Texas.
So he got the $2,800 one that came from Newcastle, Delaware, is where he got that number.
Right.
And he said he was still waiting to hear from New London Electric, but it's been extremely difficult. So so you said you'll call around, but is there another option if in your mind?
Yeah. So at $2,800, you could buy a steel beam. You could buy a laminated veneer lumber. Like that's big money. That's a lot for a single telephone pole. And sadly, half of it is the delivery cost because you can't put that on your pickup truck.
So there is another option. So if
yeah, but the other option is just as expensive. I don't have anything that's cheaper.
okay, all right.
We own a small trailer. Would a small trailer help?
No, it's a 50-foot pole. So
Okay. And then the other thing is, I know somebody who works for the Newark City Electric Department. Is it an electric pole the
yeah,
same as?
I was going to bring it up on this call, Donna, because I know we have a few people who have contract connections. Like I think Heather's husband maybe is a contractor, but we need a 50-foot telephone pole, whether it's a utility pole, telephone, it doesn't matter. We just need a 50-foot wood
Okay.
pole, and at
Piece
the
of
small
stone.
end, the small end has to be 10-inch in diameter. That's the specifications.
Could you
50
send
foot
that out?
long.
Can you send that out by text, Paul, tonight? Just the dimensions?
Yeah.
And
50
then I
foot
can
long
ask-
and 10-inch diameter at the small end.
And we're trying to get around 800 to $1,000.
Well, no, whatever price they can get, right?
Yeah, I
Let's see
mean,
what they can
1,500 would still be a deal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right,
I
and
have a
then-
friend who works for the Newark City electric company. I guess Newark City has their own, Newark has their own electric department, like
Yeah.
they own grid. So I can ask him.
and then pressure treated is preferred, but creosote would be acceptable. But pressure treated is preferred.
Okay. If you just
And
text
then-
it, that'd be great.
The last part that's most important is we need it delivered to Bamshire. Like, we have no way to pick it up. It's 50 foot, so there's no trailer I could have that could carry that. But we also do not need it set, which means we don't need it erected, because usually when you quote a telephone pole, that means drilling the hole and setting it in place. And so we don't need that. And so that would save money if they know they're just going to drop it on the ground. And then tell them it's for a volunteer project, and hopefully they'll have some sympathy on the price.
Okay.
That's great. All right, so I will give, because poor Jeff is like pulling his hair out.
I know
Just doing
Jeff's
Yeah.
busy with more important things, so I'll try to look for it myself. Because, initially, Donna, Joan had found that $800 one, and it was just me saying, "Hey, Jeff, go buy that pole that Joan found." And well, it turned out that was a dead end now because they went out of business. So
Right.
then it became a big deal for Jeff to try to find something, and unfortunately, he hasn't had much luck with it.
Exactly. And it's not that he's doing more important things. He's just exhausted his options. So
Right. Well, this is weird, but if you're just a resident of, they don't sell telephone poles to just anybody. Like, you have to be a contractor in the business and know people.
yeah, and that's good. I mean, if Jen finds somebody and they won't sell, we'll buy it. Township will buy it. We just need to contact someone who will sell it. So if we need a township to buy it, we can do that. We just need to know who to call and ask. So
Okay. Thank you. And my husband works we both work for an environmental company, and some jobs need some other stuff. So I could ask through work too.
that would be great. Yeah, like I said, Jeff is just at his wit's end.
Okay.
Good.
Paul, also, when you're sending out the text, could you specifically send me a text on that location? Eric said he could get to it Sunday for the tree. You said it's on the Keene Trail.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm typing the text now for
Okay. Thank you.
I see Heather. Heather, do you have thought on that? You're on mute.
Sorry, I know my kids are madness in the background, so I'm just trying to save you guys. I asked my husband, he doesn't know anybody who has a trailer or anything, significant enough to do 50 feet.
No, but does he
that's
know
kind of the
anybody that would
problem is-
sell us a pole?
That would sell one. I will ask that question too. I'll get right back to you.
Okay.
All right, good. I was worried that this was a dead end. I mean, you've been working on this pole for a while and you had the grant. I didn't want it to fall apart because you couldn't get the pole.
Yeah. I have faith we'll get a pole. I mean, poles go up every day. We'll find something. We'll just take it off of Jeff. But that was my topic too, Donna, when he said new business. That was what I wanted to ask the group if anybody had a pole.
Yeah, Jeff was worried, so I promised him I'd bring it up. So good.
I don't know whose pole it is or what, but there's been one like laying at the intersection of 896 and 841 for like ever.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the electric company lays out their poles months ahead of time along the road where they're going to do a replacement project. But you can't just go.
We don't have a
grab
way
it.
to take it. We don't even have a way to steal it if we wanted to.
So that's
Right.
That's why they feel comfortable leaving them out there, because nobody has a way to pick them
Move
up.
them.
But they do have a way of chopping them up.
They do have a way of chopping.
Just 5 feet, right? And then they screw the whole thing up.
Yeah.
I think it was 6 feet, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Still.
Jeez.
They ruined it. Yeah.
All right. Any other topics anyone has? All right. I didn't know if Heather, did you have any other info on possible poll findings or no?
No, not off the top of
Okay.
his head. We'll ask around and see if anything comes to mind.
All right, cool. Thank you.
He's got someone he can ask. We'll find out tomorrow.
So, thank you, Heather. So a topic, Jeff's not here, but Jonathan Thorngate finished his bridge in Franklin Preserve. And Greg and I saw it last weekend and verified it's all done. It looks really good. He even put a little plaque on it. And I wanted to ask Jeff or Melissa or somebody if anybody has signed his paper, because as the township is the receiver of the project, we have to sign off saying we're satisfied with his work. So, I wanted to just let Jeff know that as far as I'm concerned, he's done and did a good job, and we should sign off on his paper if we haven't already.
What was the Eagle Scout's name?
Jonathan Thorngate.
Got it. Okay. I'll put it in my note.
That's the name, isn't it, Greg? I get mixed up on the scout names, but I think.
Yes, I believe so.
All right.
And I was just going to check my email to see if.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be known that I'm willing to sign off, and Jeff's usually the one that signs as the township manager, but I'm giving my okay. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I don't see any emails where we were supposed to sign off or anything. So, okay.
And do we have any other outstanding Boy Scout projects? Like, did we ever sign off on the tree planting kid with the birdhouses? I think we did.
Yeah, we did sign off on that. I believe somebody actually reached out. Yeah. So that just made me remember that we do have a Boy Scout or Eagle Scout that's looking to discuss a project. So I think on my computer at home, I have a running list of Eagle Scout projects that we keep. Does anyone have any ideas of stuff I can throw at them that may not be on there?
Yeah, that was going to be my comment, is we need some more projects. And I don't have any off the top of my head, but there was a kid that was going to build a ramp on the metal bridge for a bike ramp. Whatever happened to him? I don't know what happened.
I think the last we left it with him is he was gonna revise his design.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if we ever heard from him again.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to revise his design and then set up a meeting to have him presented to the Board of Supervisors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we left it last. One project that I had in mind was building kind of like an entryway arbor type thing for the healing garden.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a good scout project.
All right. Yeah. And maybe, putting some on there that actually says healing garden, or because a lot of people still, even with the new entrance that we added, and there's no signage or anything that says like what's back there. So it'd be nice to, have something to show what it is.
And I think that would be good to be able to keep the bushes from growing back. Like they won't like spread out if they build something like maybe like an archway that like kind of blocks.
Yeah.
Like
That could help too. Yeah.
And what about the sign you ordered for the tree planting? Did you get that ordered, or did Jeff order that?
It hasn't been ordered yet. So let me just check the last email that we exchanged. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't. It was very inexpensive. It was $60 for the sign.
Yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and order. I was, hopeful that NLT would tell us who their sign manufacturer was, but I've given up on them. So just order that one for $60. That's pretty cheap. And then at some point, I would like to get a new sign for Bamshire. The one there is pretty small and doesn't really give much advertising for Bamshire. it's funny. I talk to so many people that live along that road and don't even know it's there.
Yeah, that's not a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
And then for the property on Auburn Road that we preserved earlier this year, NLT agreed to put a sign on the property saying it's a preserved farm.
Mhm.
And I'd like to do that to several other properties, work with the landowners and get the permission, because we didn't get it as part of the easement, but get the permission to advertise that we've preserved many properties, because so many people drive by farms in our township and don't know whether it's preserved or not. They have no idea. So we should better advertise our success.
Yeah, I agree.
I went through Middletown, Pennsylvania earlier this month. No, late in September. And they've got great signs saying this property is preserved. I don't remember the wording. I was going to try to get a picture of it. Thanks to the residents of Middletown, Pennsylvania, this property has been preserved forever or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's great, and I think people would appreciate it.
Greg,
Yeah.
you were talking about the Boy Scouts. You were talking about the library box in the Healing Garden.
Yes, that was another one. The free little library type box.
Yeah. And the other thing I thought about, I know one of the townships doing it. They have storyboards that they put in parks, and you can put books in it. So the kids go walk around and read the book. But I was thinking they could put boards, and you could put, can you find, how many birds can you find, and put different pictures of birds, something for the kids to do while they're sitting there or looking, can you find these plants? Something like that. That would be a Boy Scout project to build the boxes that you put the signs on. I have pictures of some.
Yes, do you have I was going to ask if you have something. Yeah, that would be great if you have a picture. I like that, Kyle.
Like a scavenger hunt kind of thing that you see at some
Sort of. Yeah. Just like a box that has a plastic, screen on it so it doesn't get wet. And then you change it, season wise or however you want to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Pictures. The kids can look for different birds or, butterflies or,
Yeah, I think that's cool, and it kind of educates them if you change it with the seasons and whatnot.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, if you could send that to everyone, those pictures.
All right.
And there was, we had talked about a sign also in the Healing Garden to kind of educate and maybe show the species of plants that are in there and the benefits of why they're there. So signage is definitely still something that, looks like we have a lot of projects that we could do. All right. Anything else? Any other topics? All right.
We should have had our meeting in the park and planted some trees.
I know.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that would
just
have been nice. But I'll be out there tomorrow. So if anyone's not doing anything and wants to hang out and put some trees in the ground, come on out.
I got to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry I'm not around Saturday, but I'll be back shortly after that. And, if you need anything from me, let me know. But
Okay.
hopefully you get a good turnout. I'm definitely doing my best trying to spread the word. And if we don't get them all in, we'll just keep going next week.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.